start with Amar of Meir on the top, on your base of Menachem. We had an interesting machlokes where the Chachamim said, if two witnesses tell a person that you ate chaylev, and he responds, no, I didn't. So, Rabbi Meir says that he's chayev. Two witnesses. Two witnesses is the strongest. They could put him to death. They tell him he ate chaylev. For sure they can make him bring a carbon chatas. And the Chachamim responded, they said, no, he has a way out. He could have said, I ate chaylev, yes, but I did it on purpose.
I just want to remember, there's some people who can't be witnesses, right? Yeah. Like your brother, all relatives can't be witnesses, your enemy can't be. Right? No,
so he could have gotten out of this by saying, I did it b'mezid. Okay, the Gemara here is going to discuss what is the meaning of that he could have gotten out of it by saying, I did it b'mezid. I ate the chaylev intentionally. Now, okay, whatever the case is, you chayav a carbon only if it's b'shoigeg. And he could get out of the carbon by saying, I did it b'mezid. Okay, so let's see how this works. Ibailo, they asked the question. My taima the Rabbanan. What's the reason for the Rabbanan? Is it mishum da adam neman alatz miyesim ish? Is the reason because a person is more believed for his own issues, which over here he's saying like this. What are you doing? You're worried about my neshama that I didn't avera and I didn't think. I'm worried about myself a lot more than you are, and I'm telling you that it's not a problem. Is that the pshat? Oidelma, or is it mishum damrin and migudi ba yamar mezid ayisi paiter ki yamanami la yachalti mehaman nupater? Or is it not because he's believed, not because he's believed on his own things, that he has more concern for himself than the witnesses? Maybe the reason is because it's an actual ne'amanos, it's a trustworthiness, that because he could have said something else if he wanted to lie, or we can really over here what we're dealing with is translating his words to mean something that would exempt him. So it's only because of that. It's not because he's more sensitive to his own things. He's more cautious for himself. The Gemara says, "My nafkamina." What's the difference? Why we're believing him? Is it because of amigo, or is it because a person is believed him? So what's the difference? It says, "L'mifsham minei l'tuma." We can understand from this to other cases where there is no migo. If we say that a person is believed for himself more than 100 witnesses, so leishna tumah chadnasha, leishna tumah yeshana, then there's no difference between if it's a new tumah or an old tumah. Talking about here is witnesses testify about a person. They tell him, you became tamei, and then you went into the Bais of Migdash, and therefore you have to bring a carbon. So whether it was a tumah from before, you became tamei before, or whether it was a tumah right now, you became tamei right now when you went into the Bais of Migdash. So if we say the reason is for a migu, so patri leila rabbanon mitama yeshana, the rabbanon will say that he's exempt. Why? Patri leila rabbanon mitama yeshana. They would say, ask him, what's the reason for the rabbanon? Rabbanon say that a person is believed. So he would say like this. They tell him, you became tamei. He says, no, I didn't. So we're going to need to explain what he means, no, I didn't, if it's because of amigo. What could he have said? Could have said, the Gemara is going to explain, he could have said, no, I didn't, I went to the mikveh. As that's the way out. They say he doesn't have to even contest what they're saying. They say, yeah, you're right. I became tamei, but I went to the mikveh and then I went into the Bais of Migdash. Why? Because I became tamei yesterday. So I went to the mikveh yesterday. That's if it's an old tumah. Aval mituma chadasha mechayev. But by a tuma chadasha, if it's a tuma from today, if the witnesses say that you became tummy today, then he doesn't have a way out. My timer, tuma yishana. If it's an old tuma, migudi ba yamar tavalti. He has a migu. He could have said tavalti, and that's why he's pater. Ki amar nami leinet mesi pater. So therefore, when he says that I never became tummy, he's also pater. Because we can say my leinet mesi de kamar. What does it mean leinet mesi? When you say I never became tummy, it means layamadati b'tamasi. It means I'm not standing in my tumah. I got rid of it. Ela tavalti. But if he says I went to the mikveh, I'm sorry, it's supposed to be aval tavalti. Layamadati b'tamasi aval tavalti. But I went to the mikveh. Aval tumah chadasha. But when it's a new tumah mechayev, then the Rabbanim would say chayev my time. The chiyamalai nami tavalti. Even if he says he went to the mikveh, he's still chayev. Because the witnesses will say, so what that you went to the mikveh? You became tummy today, and you still have the tumah on you even after the mikveh. You have to wait for nightfall. Okay, what's happening here is a unique way of using the term migu. That migu is only being used here where we can reinterpret his words that would fit with this migu. I think in Dini Mamanis it doesn't work like that. I think you can make a totally different claim and have someone could say, is there a migu if someone says, I paid you back? I paid you back. So he said, you owe me money. The guy says,
there was never a loan.
He could have said that there was never a loan. He could have said that. Now, I paid you back means that there's never, no. I paid you back means there was a loan. But nevertheless, so it's a unique sort of me, unless, no. If he would say it the other way, then he would be stuck, because then he would be admitting. If he would say, I never borrowed, then you never borrowed. That also means you never paid back. And now if we catch you that you borrowed, no, but that would be getting himself into trouble. But a regular migu, it doesn't have to be that I'm going to reinterpret your words to be over here. We have to be able to fit it into the words what the migu is, that we can reinterpret it to say that. No, so it shouldn't be contradicted. Now, Rashi points out something interesting. When it came to the korban by Chelev, we said, what's his migu? Could have said that I did it b'mezid, and then he doesn't have to bring a korban. Why over here don't we say that I became tamei b'mezid? And so Rashi says, well, getting tamei b'mezid doesn't affect your entering into the mikdash. We don't care how you became tamei. How you entered the mikdash is the issue. As long as coming into the mikdash was shoygig. So why doesn't he say that I came into the mikdash b'mezid? He should have a migu over there. The answer is because he's not discussing his entering to the mikdash. He's only claiming about his tumah. He says leinet mesi. Regarding the leinet mesi, that we can interpret to mean I went to the mikveh. I told you I'm not tamei. I never became tamei. What it means is I'm never holding on to that tumah. That's what it means. So what's the din? What is the reasoning for the Rabbanon? Tashema. So come and listen. So this was a long question. It starts from the Bailu and makes its way down to this first Tashema. If let's say one witness tells a person you became tamei, and then they added on and you came into the mikdash, and he says no. Says I never became tamei. So he's pater.
So this guy did go in.
Yeah.
So this after he went in.
After he went in, they said you became tamei. We saw you became tamei, and you came into the mikdash. And he said no, I didn't become tamei. So he's exempt. Now the reason why he's exempt is it's going to say later that when there's a person chayav a karban, the pasuk says v'hisvada, and when he admits, because he's holding by denial, he doesn't bring a karban. Yachal afilu shnayim. What happens if two witnesses tell him? Now the question is, does he still need to admit, to acknowledge it when there's two witnesses, or maybe two witnesses is the strongest? Amar Rab Meir kal v'chaymer. Rab Meir, his opinion is, have a kal v'chaymer. Im eviu shnayim lemisa chamura. If two witnesses can put a guy to death, leviul de karban akal, they can't have him bring a karban. I mean, his whole existence is dependent on these guys. They can make him bring a karban. We have the words. The words of the Chachamim tell us that a person has believed on himself more than 100 people. So all of you are worried about me. I'm concerned about myself more than all of you, and I'm telling you it's not a problem. Shema minat amer der Rabbanim mishum da'amri adam neman al atzmi yisir me'yesh.
So even when there's two?
Even when there's two. That's the opinion of the Chachamim.
Let's just say he's going to get the scale off if he did something wrong. Maybe sure he's going to get more about himself tomorrow. That goes both ways.
You hear Yos's question? No. His question is, if you say that a person cares about himself more than 100 witnesses, so why by skila, when witnesses testify that he killed, you should be able to say, no, I didn't. And you're worried about me, my neshama, that you want to put me to death. I care about myself more.
I don't understand this call or Rabbi Meir. I understand Misa is more serious than carbon.
Right.
But Misa, as we learned on the previous stuff, you can always say, maybe they said it, but I didn't hear them, or maybe they said it, but I didn't understand it when they said it, whereas Tuma is an objective fact, whether he understood the warning or not. Is that correct, what I just said?
Yeah. I don't even think it needs to be a warning there.
Right.
This is just, we saw you touching a mace. He says, no, I didn't really touch it.
Other than carbon, what other punishment is there?
Oh, Bias Mikdash. Is there karas on? It could be there's karas if it's bemazed.
There's a punishment, and there has to be one.
No, if it's karas, then that's just bemazed. If it's bemazed, it's karas, I think. Bias Mikdash is karas.
Why do we care what he says? We have two witnesses.
Yeah, because it doesn't bother us. He has to bring his own karban. It's his own atonement. It's like the rabbi walking around on Yom Kippur telling everyone what to have intention for by Hashamnu. It's like, look, Rabbi, I'm taking care of it.
I'm confused. The whole case thing where two witnesses accuse him of something, and he says, no, I didn't. Why do we care what he says? We have witnesses. Of course he says claims he's innocent. We don't care what he says. We have witnesses.
Right. That's Reb Meir's opinion. The Chacham
What's
say,
the whole Havamina of the Gemara?
No, the Havamina of the Gemara is like this. The Chachamim hold that we take his opinion seriously. The question is why. So the Chachamim say, look, he could have said if he could get out of it in many ways over here. One of them is he could say, I did it b'mezid. And he automatically doesn't have to bring a carbon. He said, you think I did an Aveira? I ate it b'shageg? It's much worse than that. I ate it b'mezid.
Isn't it true that a person doesn't make himself into a Rasha?
Oh.
Only to kill himself.
Really? It's only for death?
Ain't a dumb name Misatz Moresh. Isn't that the same?
No, it's not the same. There's something.
Isn't the full
Mesim, I
someone
think
doesn't make himself into
No, ain't other Mesim
the benefit of someone
It's not
else?
Mesim.
Mason?
That's the quote.
No, it's with the sin.
That's where it ends. I think that's how
place.
it ends up.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
It's funny.
I don't remember that.
Quoting it in my mind.
I don't think I'll be able to find it.
Isn't that the full quote? Someone doesn't make himself into a Russia for the benefit of someone else.
Oh.
But I don't think it says people don't make themselves a Russia for themselves.
No, it could be even for himself. I think so.
Yeah, I don't remember the second part.
So interesting. That's a good question. Two good questions there. That's a good question. Another Mesa Matzrasha. That could affect the Migu.
Yeah.
The Migu is, if he wanted, he could have said, I'm much worse than you think. And then he would be exempt. But you can't say that. Because, what does it mean he can't say that? That means that we wouldn't believe him when he would say that.
Yeah, a person does not believe when he tries to make himself a Rasha.
Obviously, I mean, he cares about himself.
Okay. Okay. Amar Rabami. Rabami says, La'ilam time derabanan mishum damrin and migo. Actually, it's not because a person cares about himself. A person has believed on himself more than 100 witnesses. Really, it's because of amigo, and it's only in certain cases. Rachiktani. This is what it means. Pater, because he's able to say this migo, that really I went to the mikveh. What did we say? What was our case? Our Mishnah, the case is chaylev. We brought another case where we said he became tummy and went into the Bais of Mikdash. The same story. So the only thing is, in our case, we said the Chachamim said if he wanted, he could have said I was amazed. In this case, it says when going into the Mikdash, it says a person has believed on himself. So we get all excited. We say, you see, it says a person has believed on himself. It doesn't have to do with the migo. Rabami says you're just reading it too quickly. What it means to say is that because the person can say that I went to the mikveh, so therefore a person has believed on himself because he has that ability to make that migo. Ihachi, the Gemara asks, then you have exactly the same case as our Mishnah. Both of them, he has a migo. By chaylev, he could have said I was amazed, and by tumah, he says he could have said I went to the mikveh. So he has a way out. So Ma'al the Tema, Gemara answers, could have said that there's a difference. Achalti chaylev, when he says that or it's supposed to be achalta chaylev. It's the gimel here. No, sorry. Lo yachalti chaylev. He says I didn't eat chaylev. Kamataretz tiburi. When he says lo yachalti, I did not eat, he can answer his words, can reinterpret his words to mean lo yachalti shoygeg el amazed. I didn't eat it by mistake. I ate it on purpose. Because all I need to do is add one word into that sentence, and I fixed up the whole sentence to
You're not allowed words to that.
right. But it's not contradictory.
Like I did not.
Right.
Just because he could add a word to it. So how can you reinterpret it? Unless he just says that. You can't do that.
I guess what it means is that the sentence is still, the structure of the sentence is still good. I just have like some restrictive clause at the end. I did not eat it like this, I ate it like that. So when he says I did not eat it, I just have to add on the end of the sentence.
So why don't you just ask him, do you have anything else to say?
Aval nitmesa, but when they tell him you're tamei, he says no, I'm not. How's he going to get out of that? Kamash malan. So we say hachanami layamadati b'tamasi aval tavalti. It says I'm not tamei. Rather, I went to the mikveh. So there's a way out of that as well. That's the chiddush of tumah. Okay, Tashma, come and listen. V'esvada. And he acknowledges the sin that he committed with that he went into the temple after being tummy. Moide bidvarim chayev. What's the dalet here?
So when it goes to
Moide
the
bidavar.
was it just like a big sign and you would just walk in? Or was it like you can walk in whenever you wanted? Or like, how did it work? Because, let's just say, was there any signs of being tummy?
I'm sure there was something there. There were people standing there, and there must have been something.
Like a kite or something.
What do you say?
I can see it. I can see it.
No, there must have been some.
I think there were markings by the Chel. There were markings where people could go.
They weren't electrified yet.
So it says like this.
You walk through tunnels.
That's not how it works.
There definitely must have been somebody standing around in the neighborhood with
Warning
some signs.
Maida b'davar is chayev. When do you have to bring the carbon? Only if you acknowledge it. But ein maida b'davar is pater. If you don't acknowledge it, you're exempt. Amalei edechad. One witness says to him, Nitmesa, you are tamei. You became tamei. Where malei nitmesi? He says, no, it's not true. He's pater. It's one against one. he's exempt. Yachal afilu shnayim, supposed to be umakhishan, I think. Maybe even if there's two people, and he denies it, he contests it. So then, Amar Rab Meir says over there, if two witnesses can put the guy to death, for sure they can make him bring a carbon, even though he's denying it. Rabbi Yehuda Imer, Neman Adam Malatz Mayes Mayesh. Yeah, Rabbi Yehuda here. Who's Rabbi Yehuda? Chachamim from our Mishnah. Maidim Chachamim Rabbi Yehuda, but the Chachamim agree to Rabbi Yehuda. They accept Rabbi Yehuda's opinion. B'chalavim, with forbidden fat. B'bias mikdash, with coming into the base of mikdash. But by Tumah they don't acknowledge. They don't agree to Rabbi Yehuda. Now we're going to discuss what's going on over here. So in other words, we may have, because now in the opinion of the Chachamim themselves, we have two opinions. And in others, in those that argue with Reb Meir, we have two opinions. We may be able to determine what's the real explanation here, because when you look at this machlekes, we'll be able to see what's the reasoning for what they're holding. What are we dealing with when we say that the Tumah le'maydulei, that they don't agree with Rabbi Yehuda regarding Tumah? As they're going to accept the two witnesses by Tumah. Eily, if we say B'Tumah Yeshana, how do you say it? Yeshana. If it's a Tumah from before.
Yeshana means sleeping.
Right. Yeshana. An old Tumah. So, what's the difference by fat and going into the temple? That the Chachamim agreed to Rabbi Yehuda that he can get out. And he could have said, I was amazed. He can also get out of an old tumah. Why? I went to the mikveh. Excellent. Ravina explains, we're dealing with an old tumah. The Eidim say, not that he came into the base of Mikdash today. They tell him, Achalta kachim b'tumas aguf. He says, no, I never became tameh. He can't say now that, no, I went to the mikveh yesterday and now I went in, because they're telling him about an old story.
Why can't you say the same thing?
That in between, yesterday, when you told me that.
What you saw was true, but actually I went to the mikveh before I went into the mikveh. In other words, where does the time change?
They must be saying that we saw it all in one instance. That's because when it comes to going into the Beis HaMikdash, there's no tumah right around the Beis HaMikdash. So they say, we saw you over there, and now we see you here today, what's going on? Right? They say, we saw you yesterday at the funeral, and now we see you in the Beis HaMikdash. So, but over there they're saying, we saw you tameh, and we saw you as when you were tameh, we saw you eating. You can't say I was.
What's the punishment of going to the Beis HaMikdash time?
It's either kares, mezid, or karban olav yared.
Let's usually touch it the next day.
Right.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I went back, I looked up the Inksuva staying at Mesimatzma Russia. Rashi says the reason he can't do that is because everyone's related to themselves, right, and a relative can't be an aid.
Right.
So we're asking all these questions. How is it that we're able to believe anything he says if we don't believe somebody about what they say? And there seems to be like, oh yeah, but not every single thing else.
Right.
Well, to get out of something, we're basically not trusting.
For bringing a carbon
to get out of, but aren't all these to get out of things?
Right, but he could have had a situation where he could have got out of it by saying something else. Then that's the whole idea. The migo meaning, I could have said mezid.
That's what I'm questioning. How is migo even allowed? According to Rashi, who says, why isn't migo any different than him being an aid on himself?
You see, another Mesimat Yosha is a testimony regarding his own character. He's saying something that affects his own character. usually a migu is I'm discussing a scenario, an event. What happened? You borrowed. No, I didn't. So I'm not saying that I'm wicked. I'm talking about an occurrence, But if I would have to say that I did an aveira, then that would be a testimony about myself. I'd be testifying about my character, and for that I'm related. When a person is tameh, he first has to go through certain processes of tameh, which would be going to the mikveh, waiting until nightfall, and then if he had to bring a karban, he would bring the karban the following day. So he's already had the initial stages of purification. Rashi, before this, said, maybe they take that out. Rashi on the last page, Aval B'Tuma Le'Maidele, Rashi says, we have an answer already, that it has to do with the migu. If I say that a person is always believed about himself more than 100 witnesses, then how could there be a difference between Chalavim, Bias Mikdash, and Tumah? The only difference could be, do you have the migu or you don't have the migu? So Rashi says, Suleimidi, we're done with our discussion.
Oh, wow.
However, the Gemara still goes on, and it says, Ravina says, what's the case? And but basically...
Who said the case is finished?
Rashi says, V'suleimidi, in that Rashi over there. Okay. So we went through the case, and we say that he has no migu. Amar Ravina Laila Matumi Yashana, really it could be it's an old tumah. Going to Amri La Eidem Achal to Kacham Matuma Sagufu. Harmi Lain Lainat Mesi Dachlem Tait Skmuri Deleka Lememale Amanat Bitumavel Tavalti. Okay. He can't say that I went to the mikveh. My Amalain. What could he say? Tavalti v'achalti. He's going to say that I went to the mikveh and then I ate. Ki Amalain achi. If he says that I went to the mikveh and I ate, iskachash le dibur kama mia betumas magai.
Hey, what is this in Yitro?
Kachim, I think. He's denying. Yeah, his first statement. Because he said before, when he says Leinat Mesi, somehow, see, this gets very complicated in the grammar, but somehow, Leinat Mesi, if I want to say I don't remain Tameh, I'm not Tameh still till now, then we can accept that. But if he wants to say in the past that at the moment in the past I wasn't tamei because I've gone to the mikveh, then he can't do. What's it called when you talk about when you're talking in the past, but you mean when you have two events in the past and you're talking about the future?
Retrospect.
In the grammar they have these. Is it like a participle or something? What is that? Where you say, I don't know how to do that.
In Hebrew, we have that where you use verb, but you mean his, whatever.
Well, in Hebrew, what we do to do that is we put it in future tense, and then we put a vav, a hipach. That's what we're doing in the Torah. We're turning it past. We could have done past tense. The whole Torah could have been past tense. But we don't do it like that. We put it in future and then we turn it back. And then
Haya im Shema. Would that be the same? The Haya.
No, Haya. Okay, Haya is past, and the Vav would make it future, and it will be right. Okay, so what we're doing is he can't go back and say that when he says I wasn't Tameh, you have no problem saying that he's not Tameh now. But because they testified about something that he ate in the past when he was tummy, he can't say, no, I wasn't tummy, I went to the mikveh. That he can't do. That's what it sounds like. Okay. I'm Rav Nachman. Rav Nachman says, halacha Rabbi Yehuda. That halacha is like Rabbi Yehuda, that he's always believed on himself. more than 100 people. That's what we said. Rav Yosef. Rav Yosef says, "Lo yamra ela beina lebein atzmai ula atzmai." He's only believed for everything that has to do with himself. But if he's going to start touching other people's foods based on his own thing, that's going to be an issue. So in other words, he can say, "Look, I care about myself." You can just imagine someone smoking. Say it's not healthy. He says, "Look, I care about myself a lot more than you care about me, and for me, it's not a problem." So he responds back. He says, "Yes, but the secondhand smoke. It's not just you. It's it's what's going on over here." Okay, Amar Reish Lakish. Meider Rab Meir lachachamim. Rab Meir would agree to the chachamim shemam leishnayim. If two people say, "Ba'alta shivcha charufa," that you lived with a shivcha charufa. Two witnesses. He says, "No, I didn't." Mehaman, he's believed. Why? Because he could always buy the shivcha charufa. It said shivcha zera, and how a witness is supposed to know if this act was concluded? So he can always get out of that. And the Amar Rav Sheshas. Rav Sheshas says, "Meider Rab Meir lachachamim ben nazir tamei." If a nazir is tamei, shamal leishnaim nitmeisa. Two people tell him that you became tamei. It really means a nazir. That two people tell him he's tamei. And he says, "No, I'm not tamei." Pater, he's exempt. Bayamar nishalti al naziri. That they have no way of knowing. He could have said,